What's going on, everyone? It's Rifle here, and thanks for checking out this video. In this one I'm going to be talking about the Queen, Prince Aldrin, and also Saint 14 more than likely being in the Curse of Osiris. First things first, I don't know if you guys heard these leaked audio files that was found by a Redditor from data mining Destiny 2, but it seems that we are going to be traveling to old planets, such as Mars, Earth, Venus, I mean you get the point, and also even the Dreadnought. I'll go ahead and play a few of these audio files, but the ones that I'll play the most and I feel are the most important ones are the Dreadnoughts and Mars. The reason why I think those are the most important is because Queen ended up taken by Oryx's commanders, so, you know, that could link to the Dreadnought. Also, I believe Eris ended up returning there for some specific reason. And also, the reason why Mars is extremely important is because that's where Prince Aldrin's ship ended up last crashing, which is the Queen's brother. I'll get more into details about that in the Grimoire cards and how he is back in contact with the Queen. Okay, so here are the audio files for some proof that we could be returning to some old planets, which it does make sense because we are supposed to be going back in time to prevent a dark future from actually taking place in the Curse of Osiris DLC. Listen into these though.
Tread carefully, Guardian. The Dreadnought is a gun pointed at our heart. That ship is as deadly as the hive who climbs its walls. Be wary of both.
The Dreadnought must be understood, and New Monarchy plans to be at the forefront of that understanding.
The Dreadnought remains operational and must be contained.
Another threat rises in the sky of Mars. We still have need of Phobos, for now. Be vigilant on Phobos. Who knows what the Scions have planned for it next? Surviving Phobos is not easy, but for you, we are not surprised. Our fleet is reporting decreased activity around Phobos. I suspect your mission had a greater impact than we might have predicted. You did not die on Phobos. That itself is a victory.
I'm quite interested to see what you've uncovered on Phobos.
My sister's an astronomer, and she says there's something new in the sky.
It defies simulation. You're back. What lay at the end of that signal, Guardian? If the Vex have interests on the Myriad, so do we. I believe there is a message to the Myriad. You're the one to find it. We need eyes on the Myriad. The simulations tell us nothing. My simulations cannot reproduce Myriad conditions. Your presence there will help greatly.
So yeah, as you guys just heard, a bunch of interesting dialogue that was uncovered by a Redditor, which I'll leave that Redditor's post down below in the description if you guys want to further investigate. We now understand that there is some kind of dialogue for Mars, Dreadnought, and the Myriad. There's also some for Venus and Earth and others, but I didn't really go over those much just because I feel like those aren't important with this subject that I'm going over in this video. The Myriad, I believe, is going to be some kind of different location that we're going to experience in the Curse of Osiris. It seems Vex related. So from this, we can understand that more than likely we are going to have some kind of contact with Mars, it seems like anyways, from these audio files. And the reason why Mars is important is because in the Battle of Saturn, Prince Aldrin ended up crashing his ship on Mars. And Aldrin actually suspected that his sister also survived within the grimoire of the battle. He said that he could still sense her. He then spent the rest of the Taken War and throughout the Siva crisis to search for her, evading everyone including his own followers, it is mentioned. His last known report indicated he allowed himself to be captured in order to find the Kell of Kings to raise an army, and it seems unclear why he was wanting to do that at the moment. He also indicated that his sister approved his actions, so it seems like he is now in contact with his sister and more than likely have reunited with her. It is noted though that Mara was taken by Oryx's commanders. Whether or not Aldrin ended up fighting Oryx's commanders to get her back or not is unclear. There's been a lot of speculation thinking that she was taken to the Black Garden by Oryx's commanders. Once again, it is unknown though. But the reason why I also think the Queen will be brought up in the Osiris DLC is because she is friends with him. And this is said in the Grimoire Ghost Fragment, The Queen 2. It starts off with saying the hunter came to a halt in front of the throne, raised her covered face to meet the prince's gaze. In quotes, it is said by the Queen, "No," she agreed, "my next death will be my last." "I know the feeling," the prince said dryly. The Queen kept her expression carefully distant. She sat, reclined in her throne, legs crossed, surveying the two figures at the base of the steps. Beside her, where the wolves' guard used to stand, Shuro and Cedia hovered instead, their jewel-like arguments gently humming. To her right and just before stood the prince, facing forward, but his body half turned back toward her. "Your Grace," said the man before her at the foot of the stairs. This is Osiris, by the way. His voice was soft but strong. When he spoke, the hunter started to turn her head toward him, then flinched as if someone had shone a bright light into her eyes. "Thank you for your gracious welcome," he said. The queen inclined her head slightly. "Before we begin," spoke out the hunter, "I will say this." She paused, her head tilted up to the throne. The queen waved her hand in assent. I'll go ahead and skip a couple of these lines so I don't bore you guys too much. I just want to let you guys know that the queen was in contact with Osiris. At the end of this, she had said, "I have no wish to play politics. I have no grievance for the city, not anymore. I have no grand hopes to end the war. For long have I known I will not see its end. I am here for one battle, and one alone, because it is a battle we must all fight, together or separately. So I will warn the defenders, together or separately. I will do anything," her low voice shook with passion, "to end Oryx." It is then said in the Grimoire card pretty much that she wanted to team up with Osiris and his disciples to end Oryx, and she agreed at the very end of this Grimoire, "So let us end him," with a smile curved from the queen's lips. Definitely interesting. So it seems that the queen and Osiris and his disciples were teaming up. So this had to have been a while ago when this grimoire was read. For this grimoire because Osiris has been stuck in the Vex network for quite some time. I'm uncertain on how long ago this actually was. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's definitely going to be nice to see the Queen and Prince Aldrin once again in Destiny 2. Once again, I don't know if this is for a fact, but it definitely seems like they're going to play a part in the story. Because after all, we are supposed to go in the far past and far future to fix some things that are supposed to end up happening. And maybe the Queen ends up being a part of that. And also, who knows, maybe even Eris. She is supposed to return at some point or another. Next up, I wanted to get into a little bit about Saint 14. In case you guys don't know, there is a Saint 14 shotgun. You can clearly see the symbols on the side of the shotgun, XIV, which are Roman numerals that equal up to 14, and also you can see the Saint symbol on it too. So this is an indicator that there is going to be a Saint 14 shotgun. And also, in case you guys don't know, in the Grimoire, apparently Saint 14 ended up fighting Osiris, or at least was on the search for him. It is said in the Grimoire his last words were that he was going to Mercury to find him. I don't want to read all this Grimoire out for you guys, but I will read some of it. It is said those saints having his ghost prepare his Vex arsenal and set a course for Mercury to fight Osiris. And maybe this is why we don't know where Osiris or Saint 14 are exactly at. They could have been taken by the Vex when Osiris opened the channels at Mercury. I'll skip to the very end of this where it speaks of him and Osiris. So Saint 14 ends up saying, "Father, I don't think I have the energy to return. I'll rest here and come back to be honored when I return." He said this to the speaker. Of course, the speaker isn't actually his father. He just mentions him like a father, like, a priest of some sort. And the speaker replied, "Of course, son, but there is something concerning you," Saint 14 said. "More fallen march on the city?" "No, not this time. I have word that Osiris was seen on Mercury, the Calorous Basin. He's turned his attention back to the Vex." Saint 14 said, "Mercury? Too many channels to know. You activate one, you start to feed its veins. He threatens our peace. Your duty, my son. You must never forget." Saint 14 said, "I cannot." The ghost killed the feed and waited for its guardian's words. Saint 14 said, "Ghost, prepare my Vex arsenal and plot a course for Mercury. That old man is about to wake up hell." So yes, as you guys can see from this, Saint 14 was last heard going to Mercury to find Osiris. Whether or not he ended up finding him is unknown, but I have a feeling Osiris told him about what is actually happening, and Saint 14 was going to try to help him, because he probably ended up realizing that Osiris's goals were more good to help rather than just letting it go, and it ends up destroying the universe. And when I say it, I'm talking about the Vex and this whole plot that they have going on at Mercury. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to bring to you guys in this video. I thought it was really interesting that we might be encountering Saint 14 for the first time in the Osiris DLC. Of course, we're going to be encountering Osiris for the first time in the Curse of Osiris DLC. And also, not to mention, we might even be seeing a return to the Queen, Prince Aldrin, and even Eris. The reason why I say Eris is because apparently, you know, the queen was taken by Oryx's commanders somewhere. So yeah, that's about it, everybody. I thought this was a pretty interesting video to bring to you guys. I just wanted to let you guys know real quick though that my console giveaway is about to be ending here soon. So if you guys want to participate in this to have a chance at winning, and the winner will get to choose from a Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, or a PS4, all you guys have to do is show some support by leaving a like. That's basically a thank you to me for giving something like this away for completely. And subscribe and click that bell, of course, if you haven't, to stay notified. That'd be greatly appreciated. And comment your thoughts about this video. Basically, my reason of giving something like this away is to get more support on my videos. Of course, I know it may sound a little greedy, but I am expecting something in return over me giving, you know, something like this away. Anyways, I'm out of here though, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen, and until next time, peace.